Hello, how are you both?
Hi.
I have to say, before I dive into the movie, which I really liked, Rita, you looked fabulous at the Oscars.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I love hearing that. I think
I
I did
was,
too. Actually, I think I did too. I rarely say things like that, but man, that gown and that black wig, woo.
how was that whole experience? Because you were channeling Cheetah, and then you got to be on stage and introduce America, which was great.
Oh, introducing America was very moving for me. When I rehearsed the day before, and I saw this huge screen with a picture of me holding, or freeze frame really, holding my Oscar, I got teary. And I got teary, and I thought, I really don't want to do that tomorrow when I present uh, America because it's too easy. You know, I wanted to be dignified and not do that actressy thing of my voice breaking. So the only thing I could do, which was an homage to the movie and to her, was to say America.
Yeah,
So I did, but it was what a lovely way to introduce actresses,
it was
don't you
really
think?
effective. It was really effective. I got teary-eyed.
Right. I mean, one of the great moments of an actress's life, and to do, to depict all of that was just beautiful, really beautiful.
And you've been working for decades, and it seems like you're still finding the joy in this business as if it were day one. So I was wondering what makes you say yes to a project like the prank.
Oh, that was easy actually, because I love the idea of playing this snake of a woman. I have never seen such an evil character in my life. And I really said, yeah, Maureen Bharoocha, who is our director, will tell you what I said when I read the script.
Yeah, Rita, we sent it to Rita, hoping that she was my number one, that she would want to do it. She read it over the weekend, called me on Monday, and she said, I'll do the movie under two caveats. I get to wear leather pants and smoke a cigarette.
As the character,
Yes.
as the character.
And of course, I was like, we're writing that into the script right now.
I loved it. I had the time of my life. I've never played a snake like that. It was so much fun, really. I mean, I've played nasty women, but on stage, I've done Maria Callas in that wonderful play. I played, who else? Oh, yes, Sunset Boulevard in London. I did her. And, she's not exactly the joy. She's not a nice lady, but she's got hotter. Hello, darling, that kind of thing. I
Yeah,
love that. I mean, I can do real pretend, like all actors and actresses want to do. I could be somebody completely different than myself. That's great. That's such a privilege, really.
absolutely. And Maureen, what was it like for you to direct Rita in this?
I mean, it truly was the greatest experience of my life directing Rita. I mean, not often do you get to work with somebody of such caliber, an icon, and somebody that I've looked up to my whole life. But I definitely had to take a step outside myself because you can't really work in that way if you're fangirling all the time, even though I wanted to. So it was more just, having conversations about the character and about what would be fun and what would be devilish and how do we push it. So it really was just more conversations and having fun.
Well, it was really, I mean, I would say, oh, I just got an idea of an attitude on her part. And I would do it for her. And I'd say, is that too much? She said,
No, keep going further, do more. Because that's what was fun, is being able to play in that space and see how much you could push it,
and
how much you had to pull it back.
it is a cult movie. And when I went to see the screening the first time, aside from being startled at the way I looked, I mean, I really went, oh, and then I got over it very quickly because I was going to be looking at that face for the next hour, hour and a half. But I thought it was funny. It's very funny.
It is very, very funny. And the thing that struck me is it also got to the fact that, the teachers that push you the most, aside from the homicidal stuff, the teachers that push you the most really believe in you, and that's why they push you. So I was wondering, do either of you have a figure in your life?
She didn't give
Yeah.
one damn
Oh, you
about
don't
her
think
kids.
so?
I mean,
That was
I had my teacher that is like my Mrs. Wheeler was Mrs. Jordan in seventh grade, and she was a real bitch to me. She was really mean. She'd put me in front of the class. She said I was a social butterfly,
oh
so she would pull me aside and kind of ostracize me. I think it was to get revenge on me, but maybe it was because she thought she was teaching me for life's harsh lessons.
Well,
which,
she said you were her favorite
yeah,
student.
yeah.
Well,
So
I believe that. I believe that.
I think that's
This
such
is
an
for your own good.
an old way of thinking, you know,
Yeah.
and that's what's fun about the movie is that the kids are like, no, we're going to get back at you and, frame you for a murder of a missing student.
Right. That's why it's called the prank. And then it's a prank that goes south. Boy, does it go south, right
Yeah.
where hell is.
And I was wondering, what are your favorite dark comedies, either of you?
I mean, I'm a big fan of Heather's is a big influence.
Ooh, yes.
That, I love To Die For. That's a great,
Oh, that's a
satire.
wonderful one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are some of my favorites. But again, a lot of this was homaging Hitchcock and Dressed to Kill.
That's what she did. This is so different. She would homage him by a certain shot, making the shot look like something he did many, many, many years ago, or putting a slash of light across my face.
Yeah, like the Marlene Dietrich look,
Yeah.
Mhm.
So getting to give Rita these iconic shots that she's never gotten to play in the space with on screen.
I definitely picked up on those shots too. So I'm glad that
Oh, did you?
yeah,
That's
100%.
great. That's great.
I have to say, this was lovely to get to speak to the both of you. I hope everyone goes sees this movie.
Thank you so much.
The prank,
Nice
folks.
to meet you.
I'm doing good. Nice to meet the both of you. I have to say, South by Southwest is playing right now, and this movie had its premiere at South by Southwest. So I was wondering, what was that experience like for the both of you?
It was a great experience. It was it was like my first big film festival attending, so it was a first time experience for me.
Yeah, first time in Austin, and for me at least, and I loved it.
Getting to be there with Rita too. I mean, there was a lot of buzz at the time. Now we're a year removed from it, but it was a really good atmosphere. 2022.
Yeah.
And I really like this film. It took me back to my high school days, which admittedly were a long time ago. But could either of you relate to what your character was going through? I mean, the homicidal stuff aside.
Homicidal stuff aside, 100%. I like to think I have stuff backed up. My character is an overachiever and pretty stressed out about his academics. So I'd like to think there's some elements of that, but I like Ramona's character Tanner. I like the slacker vibe too.
Yeah, definitely relatable how everything gets blown out of proportion in high
Yeah.
school and everything's very dramatic and significant and how that can whirlwind into something crazy.
Yeah, I was thinking about how back in high school, every single moment just feels like the biggest thing imaginable because you're going through it for the first time.
It's so fun though. I mean, that I will say that's one of my favorite things about being an actor, right? I don't like being an actual drama, but when I get to pretend that I'm an actual drama, it's great because when Maureen yells cut, then we just get to walk away.
Yeah.
Do you have people in your lives that remind you of these characters?
Yeah,
yeah.
I one of the greatest things about Maureen and her vision for the film was the friendship between us, right? She
Yeah.
was very clear about her vision for a platonic friendship, and I don't think that gets portrayed enough for exactly what it is, right? As the main dynamic, right? And I have friends in my life that it's purely a platonic relationship, and it's friends, right? And getting to work with Ramona and really riff off each other. We only met like a couple days before filming too, right? So we really just had to dive into that friendship. It's all fake though. I don't really
Yeah, I found that really refreshing too, that wow, this is a platonic friendship. It doesn't have to be anything more. They can just be like BFFs. And since the two of you had met only a few days before filming, what was that experience like, just diving in and establishing this kind of connection? Like, did you do any icebreakers or?
Well, first off, I'll just say like it's super easy to get along with Connor. He's one of the coolest, nicest people I've met. And it's very true. And yeah.
we have to compliment each other at least once. Once.
It's like a standard thing to do.
Yeah, but one of the icebreakers we did was we had to write a song together.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
in the movie.
Yeah, in the movie, our first marching orders from Maureen, our director, was go write the song that's going to be in the movie that we're performing. And so we went out and did that and became best friends.
Yeah.
I say bring back the blooper reel too, because you don't see blooper reels in movies anymore, and this one has it, and it's great.
We love a good blooper.
I think, I try not to describe this movie as fun, because fun is kind of like, to me, like an empty word sometimes, just like a filler word, but it really is in a sense of like, for movie lovers, right? For movie lovers, seeing the ensemble that's attached, the different themes and genres that it taps into, right? There's funny moments, there's thrilling moments, there's dramatic moments, and then on top of that, there's elements of a blooper reel. It's a little campy sometimes. There's a lot of lore about what is this West Greenview city, right? So there's a lot of, I'd say, truly fun elements, and people who are going to go watch this are just, at least hopefully, going to leave the theaters entertained.
I think they will too. How did Maureen run her set? How was that experience?
It was terrible.
Maureen's the
No.
best. Yeah, she's very open. She like kept us grounded in these very heightened like circumstances.
Yeah, this was still the bubble, right? So we were still on the latter end of the pandemic, so we were still doing that mandatory testing, still didn't really do too much external stuff, but Maureen is very individual with every cast member, every crew member she works with, and it just makes for, I don't know, everyone feels so, like, I felt part of everything, right? Part of the whole process, so.
Yeah.
And the two of you worked with the legendary Rita Moreno. I mean, talk about a legendary, iconic person. How was that experience? Because she really does go there with this character in a way that she hasn't before. It gets really dark.
Yeah.
I mean, we loved every moment that she was on set just because we got to experience like how much Rita loved acting and loved going into character and how much fun she had on set. So that kind of energy just like rubbed off on us, and it was always so fun working with her.
Yeah, like there's, as interesting as it sounds, it's like there's like a bar that being an EGOT sets, regardless of just being, the Rita Moreno, right? It's like those are accolades that, I know this is one of the, I'd say, most memorable acting experiences I've had thus far. Not to make it seem crazier than it is, but
It is
just trying to be
crazy.
honest.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Just trying to
I mean, it is kind of crazy. Like, she's been working for decades. I was just speaking to her before. And I mean, she's still finding the joy in this industry for day one, from as if it were day one. So that must be encouraging to the both of you.
Yeah, it's so inspiring.
It really is, right? It's perspective too. I think sometimes I try to think, like, if I put myself in her shoes, I think my outlook on life would be a little more cynical, but her zest for life, and the fruitfulness that comes with every day on set. I kid you not, I get there, I'd be tired, I'd be going to get a coffee, and then she'd be there dancing and prepping for her scene, and I truly can't put words to how crazy that is. It's she's amazing.
This film really does introduce like deep fakes, and that's a really hot button issue right now. Were you like well versed into the deep fake culture? I mean, I got introduced to it by viewing a Tom Cruise deep fake account on TikTok. I was like, what is this?
That's the one
I
with
think I saw that
Paris
too.
Hilton.
Maybe?
There's one where like it's like Paris Hilton and Tom Cruise. There's also like the Bill Hader where
Yeah,
when he
Yeah.
does
yeah.
Yes.
that's so wild.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't have like firsthand experience like doing deep fakes, but I mean, like, I'm 20 years old. I've grown up with social media. It's honestly second nature at this point, and a lot of the themes are really current. And we filmed this, like I said, the summer of 21 2021, right? So this was even before a lot of this new AI stuff even has
Yeah.
mainstream, right? And so I think the fact that it stood the test of even like 2.5 years goes to show how current the themes were.
And before I let you guys go, I was wondering, what do you hope people take away from this movie?
I hope that this movie brings people together, especially like in theaters, and everyone has a good time and they have a good laugh, and I hope they sweat a little while they watch it, and
In the wave of new sequels or the revamping of franchises in theaters, I think indie films need a lot more love, and the originality of storylines and what makes good films, right? I think needs another renaissance, and so I think that amongst people enjoying our movie as it is, I think rediscovering, you know, our love for indie films as independent features, I think could
That's
be
such a great answer.
right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Ramona. Boom.
Well, thank you so much for taking out the time. I really appreciate it. And
Likewise.
see you guys soon.
Thank you very much. It was great meeting you.
Bye.